Hi there, it's Heather. Today I'm going to be using this little tea box and I'm going to be making it into a box for journaling prompts or possibly photos or maybe even affirmations and things like that. Use it for anything really, but I'm going to use it to put in some little tiny tea bag style journaling cards. Now I've opened it up. I did tear it slightly, but I mend that later. I've opened it up to see what it looks like if I turn it inside out because I was considering decoupaging it. The measurements for the box are 3 inches by 2.75 inches by 5 inches, just in case you're interested and you want to do the same thing. Now I was going to decoupage over it originally, but then I decided to go with the fabric tape instead because I thought, you know what, that looks ever so vintagey, and I thought that might be quite nice for decorating afterwards. So I haven't decorated it in this, but I think I am going to at a later stage. But I used the fabric tape and it was relatively easy to do, but a little bit fiddly because I did have to sort of trim it around the edges and then fold it in. So there I am, just going in and mending a little bit of the tear that I made when I opened the box out, and then that was almost good as new, so it covered very well then with the rest of the tape. So for the inside I measured it and then realised it was a little bit over A4, so I couldn't use an A4 sheet, so instead I thought I'd go with covering it with this lovely recycled craft paper. Now you get this often in Amazon packaging, but I actually have a humongous roll of the stuff, so I've always got loads of this on hand. It's really good for journaling and for sketching and things like that as well. So that was really easy to do, just add a little bit of glue on the inside and then just stuck it down straight onto the paper, making sure obviously the paper was bigger than the box itself, and then just trimmed around the edges. It does sort of bubble up slightly, so you do have to make sure you smooth it down well and just go back in again and just make sure that the edges are nicely secured, and then just make sure that it all folds in neatly. And I did have to do a couple of little slits just to make sure that it folded in properly, but it actually worked really well, so I was quite pleased with that. I did use a little bit of one of my printables, like a Hessian burlap printable, and I do that on the inside as well. What I've done there is just glued a couple of the edges so that the front of the box actually can stay open because I want to decorate it and have some words on that front portion there. It will close up, and I do close it up later, but I did want to keep it open so that I have that option of opening it up later. So it folds up quite nicely. I'm quite pleased with that. So now it's on to the actual tea bags themselves. So the ones that went in the box originally were about 3 inches by 2.7 inches. So I knew that if I got some envelopes around that size that I would be able to just put those in as like the pocket for the tea bag. So I had a look at some of the envelopes I'd printed off already, and they were slightly too big, but I'm going to resize them and probably put some in later, and maybe do another project with some of these as well. But I decided to go with the manila wage envelopes that I've got, so I just cut those down to size and then got all the craft card scraps that I wanted to use up, and I cut those to size so that they would fit within the envelopes, and that would make the actual tea bags themselves. I cut pieces that were 3 inches by 2.5 inch pieces. Now to make them look like tea bags, I just got all these craft card hearts that I'd been saving up, so I've used those and just added a little bit of twine onto those and then stapled them onto the pieces of card, and then it pulls out really nicely out of those little envelope pockets. So I'm really pleased with the way it's come out. You can see that I've done a slightly different style with little tags in a folded booklet and then another little tuck there. And the majority of them are just plain pieces card, but I mean really you could go crazy and do as many little tucks and folds or whatever as you wanted. So it worked out really well, and I'm going to add some photos and some journaling at a later date and also decorate the box itself. See that I've just tied it around the outside with twine for now just to keep it closed. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up if you don't mind, because that does help. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.